Were you surprised by that name, considering all the names I just listed off?
No, not at all. I feel like Dustin and I probably. I mean, obviously, he hasn't had the longevity in the UFC as I have, but I feel like we're in a similar position where, hey, one of us loses, then it's time to go home.
All right, let us say hello to the bathrobe wearing Kelvin Gastelum, the UFC Hall of Famer, just living that Hall of Fame life. He's back in the octagon this Saturday. Noche UFC in San Antonio, taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. Kelvin, how are you, sir?
Good, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate you admiring the robe. Staying comfortable, staying relaxed out here in these tense moments.
Yes, and I respect the hell out of it. But I want to start with the Hall of Fame stuff because the last time we saw you, you were getting the Hall of Fame induction for that incredible fight with Israel Adesanya. It was one of the best fights of all time, one of the greatest title fights, interim or not, that we have seen in UFC history. What was that moment like for you getting up there with Izzy and being recognized for such an insane fight?
Incredible honor, incredible honor. I couldn't even put it into words like before or when it was announced. Like I don't know what to feel. This in my opinion is coming a little premature. This stuff happens to old people, but it's an incredible honor, and it almost doesn't feel real still. But yeah, it's just incredible honor.
Did you know, like, when that fight was over, that one day this is going to be a Hall of Fame fight? Maybe not in like 5 years, but or however many years it was.
I mean, after that fight, immediately, no. But as the years have gone by, like people still talk about it. People still write to me about it. People still come up to me and ask me about it. So it's like, it's because of the fans that fight got in the Hall of Fame. Like it's, people still talk about it. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a crazy fight, and it's one of those ones where you felt bad for Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway because they had to follow that. And if your fight didn't happen before that,
they had.
I know that might have been the Hall of Fame fight if you guys weren't on that card. Which
I
is
think
crazy
it was
about.
in the running for fight of the year that year too.
It was, and you got to share that octagon 25 minutes of hell with Israel Adesanya, and he had this terrific run as champion and just in general in the sport, but he's experienced some ups and downs, probably more downs lately. So I'm curious, as somebody who has been through the ringer of this sport, you've seen the highs and lows.
Sure.
What advice would you give Izzy as he gets ready for this sort of final chapter of his career that he's preparing himself for?
Well, I think at this point he's accomplished everything he's wanted to accomplish. I wouldn't know exactly what he's competing for, but other than just legacy, I guess it's really important for him to continue to build his legacy. But as far as I see it, like he has no need to compete, no need to prove anything anymore, except probably himself.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. And as far as you go, the last time we saw you compete, tough one with Joe Pyfer at UFC 316. You got knocked down a couple times, but you battled. You made it to the final horn, and two of the judges gave you the third round as well. So quite the road to get to that fight after everything that happened in Mexico City. But
yeah, man.
Biggest takeaways from that fight?
Don't get hit with the right hand by Joe Pyfer. Move your head. That's the big takeaway. The situation was what it was. So there are a lot of things that were out of my control. So other than being hit by Pyfer, that was in my control.
What was out of your control?
Just how, everything got canceled, had to get postponed. I literally trained maybe 7 months for this fight to get ready. When it was announced or when they, oops, sorry about that.
You're good.
From when it was announced to, when I started training and then the whole training camp and then getting canceled, like it was about 6-7 months that, passed by, and then I didn't end up fighting, which was crazy. But it is what it is, man. A lot of things were out of my control.
Now you get Dustin Stoltzfus, and I know I'm speaking for myself, but there's probably a lot of other people who had the same reaction. This one
Sure.
threw a lot of people off guard
Sure.
because I actually looked at this today and I wrote it down because it was just eye opening to me. Since
Mm-hmm.
November 2014, this is your resume.
Mm-hmm.
Ellenberger, Woodley, Marquardt, Magny, Hendricks, Kennedy, Belfort, Weidman, Bisping, Jacare, Izzy, Till, Hermanson, Heinisch, Whitaker, Cannonier, Curtis, Brady, D-Rod, Pyfer. Pretty much every name I just listed off there was a top 15 guy or fighting for a belt or just outside of that. And now Dustin Stoltzfus, who is a fine fighter, but certainly
Mm-hmm.
outside of that sort of ilk that I just listed off. Were you surprised by that name, considering all the names I just listed off?
No, not at all. I feel like Dustin and I probably. I mean, obviously, he hasn't had the longevity in the UFC as I have, but I feel like we're in a similar position where, hey, one of us loses, then it's time to go home.
You think it could be like that for you heading into this fight?
We'll see. We'll see.
Is that like pressure you wanna? Is that like a chip on your shoulder that you kind of want
Oh,
to put on
definitely,
yourself?
definitely, for sure.
Is it weird?
No, no, because this kind of pressure has kind of been there for a decade.
Really? You think
Yeah.
so?
Mm-hmm.
So this feels no different than your last 6 or 7 fights.
Correct.
That's I don't know if that's really the case. Is that just something you've always had to do with yourself, or
I just in my head, I think all this could be done tomorrow. So that's how I think about it.
so we're just living every day like it's the last day kind of
I
thing?
mean, no, but I mean, but that's one thing that's kept a chip on my shoulder is how I think about it.
Just kind of going through that list that I read off, and we talk about Edson Barboza all the time because we look at the
Yeah,
guys he's had to fight over the years.
yeah.
Where do you rank your strength of schedule over the past decade? Because that's, I mean, again, even just reading that off again was incredibly eye opening.
Sorry.
Your strength of schedule over the last
Yeah.
decade. How do you compare that to like most in this sport? Because that's a wild run you've been on.
Right, right. Yeah, I'd put it up there. I'd put it up there with some of the best. Probably not the best, but probably under it.
Top five?
I mean, I've fought a lot of former champions, beaten some of them, have came close to a lot of them. And yeah, man, I've lost a lot of split decisions to a lot of really good guys. A lot of fights that I feel I should have won. But you know.
Can't control that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't leave it in the hands of the judges.
That's right. What is fighting on this Noche UFC card mean to you?
It means a lot, man. I actually, I felt like I had a debt to pay to the Mexican people for Mexico City, right? So this is a perfect way to kind of pay them back and put on a good show for them.
Well, you plan on doing that. You have this chip on your shoulder. What are the headlines going to read on Saturday when this fight's over?
Sunday morning. Hopefully, people are watching my highlight.
All right. Couple last things. Khamzat Chimaev is obviously the new champion of this division.
Yeah.
Kind of seeing him with the belt. What was your reaction to the performance, the win over DDP, and just sort of thoughts on how long he can reign on top of this division?
Just super impressive how dominant that was, right? I mean, his wrestling was, nobody's been able to do that to DDP. And these are some of the best guys that he's fought. Izzy, Whitaker, etc. I mean, he's fought in the who's who, and nobody's been able to do what Hamza did to DDP. And I think the difference was the wrestling. And actually, one of the guys that he had in his camp was Pat Downey. Pat Downey was immediately after helping Hamza came over to my training camp and helped me finish off camp. So, that was cool to do. This guy Pat Downey has been helping a lot of MMA fighters, helping them elevate their grappling game, and I think that's been a difference maker.
What a personality that guy has, huh?
Yeah. Pat's the man.
That guy's something else. I mean, incredibly talented too, but
Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
He'll
Pat's the
keep you on
man.
your toes.
Yeah, 100%. So we're feeling pretty good about the work we put in, and so it's been great having him.
Is he going to be in your corner on Saturday?
No, he couldn't. Unfortunately, he was going to, but he's got some other obligations that he's got to get to.
Fair enough. Going back to the Khamzat thing. So right now we have Imavov, who just got a win over Kyle Bahalio. Then we have Reinier de Ritter and Fluffy getting ready to fight each other. Of those three names, they're putting the analyst hat on. Who do you think has the best chance of beating Khamzat of those three guys?
Man, I really think RDR is someone to look at as a serious threat. I think he's the man that could be the one.
Why?
His size, his style is something to deal with, man. I mean, look, I mean, when I saw him fight against Whitaker, I was blown away. Like the size difference. Like I fought Whitaker, and I know how big he is. He made him look like a lightweight. It's crazy.
It's a big man.
Yeah, it's a big dude. No wonder he was also was he a 205 and a heavyweight champion at one? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I can see that. And I can see why now.
Yeah, he's a hoss. Last thing I want to ask you about, because this is something I didn't even really realize until I looked a couple days ago. How's the promoting going? Yuma Fight League, right? Like,
yeah,
you're one of the big. You're one of the big
doing
bosses
well,
over
man.
there.
It's actually doing well. It's picking up, and we just had our 6th event, our first sanctioned event with the Arizona Commission, and that was a whole freaking deal to even do, but we got it done, and I think we're it's in a good place, and I think we could really become a staple, and out here in the Southwest. So it's growing, man. I have some high hopes for it.
What's sort of been the best lesson you've learned about the promotion side of things, fighting for the UFC for so long?
Sorry, what fighting for the UFC? What's the best thing I've learned?
Promote in order to help promote and get Yuma Fight League to where it is, or maybe you're like, well, maybe you're doing things a little different. Who knows?
I guess just the way that backstage is ran and how kind of the logistics of backstage should be, rather than it being chaotic. My partners kind of really didn't know how to handle that, and there had to be some certain way of doing things backstage so that the show runs efficient, and I had to get in there and get involved that way. So yeah, and that way I've seen how we call them the blue shirts, the people in the back working and setting up the entire production for the UFC. So I've seen how all that happens, how all that works and develops. So it was interesting. It's been interesting. And then also matchmaking. Matchmaking is a lot harder than you would think. Like you're putting on a promotion for fighters that say they want to fight, and like you offer them a fight, and it's like, well, who's the fighter? Like they're tentative to get fights. If you say you're a fighter, you should fight.
Yeah, it's a different landscape than it was when you first broke into the sport.
Yeah,
it just is.
Weird. Yeah, you say you want to fight. Okay, here's a fight, and then you're like, oh wait, maybe. It's like crazy to me.
Well, I mean, learning lessons we have along the way, and we're looking forward to seeing you imply some new lessons this Saturday. Noche UFC, Kelvin. Enjoy the bathrobe. Enjoy the comforts of fight week, I guess, until that cage door locks on Saturday. Thank you for the time, my man.
All the best, Mike. Thank you.